Welcome to Ibiza Now Home Stories. Today we're in a remarkable villa with a special owner who's going to tell us everything about his amazing life he had in this villa. Let's see if my friend is home.
Amigo,
Hey, jongen.
how are you?
Good, and you?
Good to see you, bro.
Looking sharp, eh?
Yeah, you look fit. Are you good?
Yeah, it's true. So this is Igor, the owner of this amazing finca. We're going to have a talk about the history of the house, what brought him to Ibiza, what he thinks of Ibiza. Explain a little bit who you are, what you do, and what brought you to Ibiza.
Good questions. Igor Beuker, official label is Futurist, touring public speaker for 25 years. The boring part of the DJs. I think we inspire people all over the world. I fell in love in 30 years ago, more, with Ibiza. I was 16 years old. And becoming a professional football player.
Yeah.
I played with older men and they said we're going to go to Ibiza. I said, wow, I've heard about that. My grandmother, she raised me, she said, you're not going anywhere, certainly no Ibiza. But they convinced her, so I came here, I stayed here for 3 weeks and I told my friends, teammates, one day I will build a house here. I fell in love with this island. Yeah. And they said, well, with your football qualities will be a doghouse maybe, relax. But yeah, I knew it for sure. And that took 20 years. I sold a few businesses. And then I acquired this old finca 2009. And then I did a big reformation for 2 years. Took 2.5 years, of course. Poquito mañana in Ibiza. But yeah, I fell in love with this place, the region, the area.
It's magical.
So I've been living here for in and out over 20 years.
20 years now.
Yeah.
And what hurdles did you have to overtake in these 20 years? Because I can imagine building a house, you come across quite some challenges.
Yeah. Now, first in life, so I'm a little bit used to that. My coming book is being called Misfits, so I'm used to. If you have a tough life, you're used to struggle, fight. So that is handy for Ibiza because it can be a tough island too. Absolutely. It has its own culture, DNA. The mañana culture is difficult if you come from the Western world like I do. Yeah. And I wanted to work with Blokstad very badly. Because I loved his design. I'm in love with the campo, I'm a city boy. But I fell in love with the campo. And Blokstad said, no, I'm too busy, Igor, I'm very sorry, I would love to do it, I love your ideas. But I'm way too busy to do it. So I was very, very disappointed.
So how did you get him into it?
Yeah, good question. I had a stupid little book that I once bought in Amsterdam, 20-year-old book, Casa de Ibiza, with some fincas inside. I was really serious about this. Yeah. So he asked the same question, what is that book? Ik zeg, it's a book with fincas, can I see it? So, well, you're not going to build my house, but okay, joking of course. And he said, what is this house? Why are there all kind of marks and faults? And I said, well, this is Can Miguel. It's a little bit of the Roman Phoenician style blended in. So he looked at me. He said, are you joking? I said, no, I'm very serious now, Rolf. He said, I was born and raised in this house. I lived here until 22. My father built this house.
Yeah, amazing.
I said, no, amazing. Get the fuck out. And he said, yeah. And I said, did you ever see the house? He said, yeah, in a book. He said, you want to see it? He said, yeah, let's go, bro. So he took me to the house. We walked around for an hour. And his father was still alive, Blokstad Senior. Yeah. And he spoke with his father for 5 minutes. And the father said, see.
You can sell.
No, we're going to build the house.
We're going to build the house.
We're going to do the project for you. So I was it's typical Ibiza. There has to have.
It was meant to be.
I don't know. I didn't know if I would have bought it and built it without Blokstad. Because I had a dream. And then, that was of course a blessing. Typical Ibiza, yeah.
Manifestation.
Seriously, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Igor, the island's pretty big.
Yeah.
How did you come to choose this particular area?
Honestly, yeah, I searched for 2 years, amigo. I don't know why, a little bit. I fell in love with the village of Santa Gertrudis in this area. Yeah. I'm lazy, I'm a city boy, I travel a lot. I don't want to be in the car on the west coast or the east coast. I rented in every corner of the island. San Juan, Portinats to east and west, Santularia. Not for me. I go twice a day to the south part of the island. Yeah. So in summer you're 2 hours in the car, that's not for me. So here you're central, 10 minutes to everywhere. Campo, it's rustic, and I had the idea, if I travel, I'm a speaker, I'm away 200 days per year. If I want to rent out my house, you buy a house with a rental license. The Morna College is here.
Yeah.
And I'm Dutch, so I know that all the people put their kids in the Morna College. So rental-wise was a very clever decision, location-wise and rental-wise.
And the process of the building, because okay, you said yes to Rolf. How did that? What was that? Because that's where most of the challenges are.
Nightmares,
Starting
bro.
to build
Still.
licenses.
No, I get
the pool. I know the pool has a history as well.
Oh no, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, of
about
course.
that?
For me, beyond the design, the Blokstad culture and style and the tribute to maybe Phoenician old school Ibiza, I wanted to build with respect for the islands, my island too.
It's important. That's important.
So,
Absolutely.
so I don't want Dubai sliding doors and electrical shit. I wanted romantic Campo Finca, authentic Campo Finca style. But yeah, of course, Blokstad is a fantastic architect, but then you also need builders, and then you come into the whole process of the.
That's where the headache starts.
People do not understand that it always takes 6 months to a year longer. This island has a difficult culture if you're from abroad. It's not only Spain, it's also Ibiza, which is not a...
It's different.
Yeah, it's very different. You know that better than I do. And I had big dreams and ideas with a finca that was basically, it was very old finca, but there was not much.
Yeah.
So the ideas that I had resonated with the architect, but he also said, "Do you smoke?" I said, "Why?" He said, "I have Pinterest, I have a lot of ideas." And he was very surprised that I knew. He said, "Are you an architect or a designer?" I said, "No, but I know a lot about the history of this island, and I want to do a little bit of a tribute to the Phoenicians.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a warrior, a Spartano." So that touched me for some reason. And I said, "I want to do it with Phoenician elements," and he was very interested in it because not many people ask that, of course.
No, because he was almost retiring at that time. No,
No.
he was at an old age.
That was very weird. The big photos in the house are all photos of Rolf Blokstad Senior, the old man. He was 83, and this was his last project. And when Rolf came here after a while, I said to the father and I, the older Blokstad and I, were watching a lot of photos in the office, and he had photos from 50 years Ibiza or more. For me, fantastic. I said, "You should do an exposition or a gallery." And as a tribute to his father, I said to Rolf Junior, "Can I hang the photos on the wall?" And he became very emotional.
Of course.
Because so that was because I think thanks to his dad, Rolf said yes, because Rolf had already said no. So I owe it to his dad. So there's a lot of history for me in that as well.
Igor, tell us about the pool, because I think many people would like to know the story around the pool.
Yeah, it's the crown jewel of the house now, but that has a little bit of background. When I bought the house, the garden started here, like there. So up. And I said to Rolf, "Listen, we need this pool." I showed him the pictures. We need stairs, and he said, "But Igor, that is 4,000 trucks of tierra, earth that we need to move out." Someone will give it to the neighbors, bro, it's okay. No, so he looked at me and he said, "Why?" I said, "I want these stairs across pool, and there is a Phoenician princess in the shade, because she cannot be in the sun, and some guy, she klingels a bell, and then there comes a guy with fruit and wine." He said, "You're from Amsterdam, do you smoke?" He said, "Why?" He said, "But no, I'm not going to do that." He became very serious, Rolf. I said, "What do you mean, Rolf? I'm not going to do that." "No, across pool is 80s. I don't do that in Blokstad, I'm very sorry." He said, "No, you don't understand. It's not the 80s. It's 680 before Jesus Christ, bro. It's tribute to the Phoenicians." So long story short, I was a little bit nervous because who am I? I'm not an architect. I have Pinterest. So, and I thought, shall I do it or not? It's the first time I build a house in my life. What do I know? Maybe I should listen. I said, "No, fuck it. I'm going to do it." Now later, the house became number 2, 3 photo shoot location in the island. Gucci, Prada, Rituals, I don't know, they shoot here. So it's a big compliment.
The pool is a big feature.
No, the people come for the pool, the photo shoots come for the pool. So now I sometimes get in the morning, twice a year, a WhatsApp from Rolf, "Hey, I hate you." So I reply back, "I hate you too, bro." I said, "¿Qué pasa? What happened?" Yeah, there's people here, new clients, they want to build a house and they come with photos of same pool. And what I have in the contract, that is not a joke. I said to Rolf, there's 2 terms that I want to have in the contract to work with you. He said, 1, the pool is patented for 50 years. He looked at me, he said, "I'm very serious." 2, I want the house to be in the Blokstad book. And he said, yeah, we have no book. I said, that was my next point. I'm from a marketing background. You need to make a book, bro. So eventually the pool is the best choice I ever made. The house won several awards. And the biggest compliment is if big high-end fashion and jewelry and luxury brands shoot here. It's the biggest compliment.
Yeah,
So we still joke about it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
funny.
it was a good call.
Yeah. But you're nervous because who am I? I'm
Of course, you
I'm
never
not
know
an
how it's going
architect.
to end up.
So-
No, but good that you persuaded.
Yeah.
Hey, and Igor, how do you see the future of Ibiza? What is your point of view? Where do you think this island is going? You've been here so long, you've seen it change.
Yes.
Nobody
Yeah.
can look in the future, but we kind of know
I can.
what's happening.
It's my profession.
I know, that's why.
So I will give people a little bit of context so that they think, well, maybe he's not completely insane. I advise people towards 2050, 2060, Neon the Line in Arabia, other cultural, social, technological and living trends. What's going to happen and how and why. So I have a different look at the world because futurism is my profession. For me, personally, after 35, 6 years, maybe not the destination the island is taking, that's maybe not my destination. And that comes, of course, I'm a little bit out of the clubs, I'm 50 plus. So for me, Ibiza is a different island.
Yeah.
Two, for me, I came here because Ibiza was the hardcore hippie, laid back.
Yeah.
The hippies from California
peace.
came, love and peace. I didn't sign up for the transformation towards Monaco or Saint-Tropez. Not my people, not my style. I hate bling bling and Bentleys.
Yeah.
So that might be, and I have another project. I cannot tell too much about it yet. That's the reason why I'm selling the house, because I would live here for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But the direction that the island is taking is not mine. And I want to pitch for a little island near the coast of Africa.
Okay.
I come at the Necker Island a lot, Richard
Yes,
Branson.
I know.
I did
Yeah.
5 or 6 tours to speak about ocean activism. And I said, one day I will own a little island in Africa. Can I have your setup? Of course you can, he said. And I pitched for a year and never heard back anymore. So I thought I lost the pitch. And 2 months ago I got a phone call. When do you come to Africa? Because you won the pitch, congratulations. I thought you died or something because you never responded. And no, you have the best ID. So I'm gonna develop a little island in this style, but a little bit African.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's a really
amazing.
big dream. So next level
I
dream.
expect an invitation.
Yeah, of course.
I
Now,
expect an
we will do
invitation.
retreats, of course,
For
small.
sure.
But
Yeah.
No, I fell in love with Necker Island, and in Africa, I have people that said,
The possibilities there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there I'm a little bit of the mayor too, because I don't let in the Bentleys and the bling. So
Yeah.
I can keep it a little bit more old school Ibiza.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Excited. Igor, last thing, some tips for the viewers on the island. What can you give them?
Oei, now it depends very much if you're a first timer on the island or
Yeah,
not.
absolutely.
I'd rather sell the house to non-first timers, people that understand the culture, the nature,
Yeah.
and the trouble that this island have. I'm an entrepreneur, so I would say do your due diligence.
Yeah.
I have a fantastic team for 15 years because it's an island. There's a lot of houses being built. There's a lot of crap. Maintenance, good people is very difficult. Everybody can buy a house,
Yeah.
but maintaining a
it.
campo house with good people, finding a good staff, you're very depending on. This is not a big city.
Question, when you sell the house, you can give the staff or the people you work with, you can give these contacts to the new owner?
I come from a world of due diligence. That is what
Yeah.
you should include, because if the people say no, I don't need it, thank you very much, of course. But if people know everything, have been here for 15 years, they also care, they know the rhythm.
Yeah, of course.
Depends on if the owner wants to live here, live
Yeah.
and rent. There is of course different sorts of buyers.
Of course.
And with the rental license, you have all of the opportunities to do both.
Yeah. Igor, I know you as a very honest and transparent guy. So what advice would you give the new owner of this house? What information would you give him?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, the most important thing is you should be in love with the authentic Campo Finca style, the lifestyle. If you're used to modern, that's not it. There's no sliding doors. You need to fall in love with the nature, the birds, the campo. And what I would do if I would continue here, there is a beautiful corner over there with the teepee, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I would build a little hobbit house there, a casita,
Yeah.
a guest house. under the trees, a little bit like the Hobbits, very romantic. Because that's what I would do for next level, but it's of course up to the new people what you would do with it.
Igor, the house is totally off grid, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's why I said new timers don't understand off-grid. People that know Ibiza, a lot of these houses in the Campo have nothing, the infrastructure of a camping. I fixed that. I told you a little bit before, I'm a little bit conspiracy. I'm a futurist, ahead of the game. I've been locked up abroad for speaking up against what governments are doing. This house is completely off the grid. That means 100% self-sustaining. We have our own solar, our own batteries, the most advanced system on the planet, our own water well. I don't want to be depending on any government in the world ever, because we've seen it here 2 years ago when the gas prices went up. I have an apartment here. I went from 300 euro to 1400 euro electricity bill per month.
Yeah.
People in the Campo, they paid 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 euro per month. Not me.
No.
I paid 1,000 euro per month because I have my own setup. I have electricity, but I don't need it. I switch. I stay on my own grid. I have my own water. Remember the big fires in Maui and LA, and the government shutting down the water? Not gonna happen here.
No.
So for a lot of people, that is a massive USP. We have both. But we have the complete independent self-sustaining setup and our own water and electricity, and that for the future is the most important USP for any buyer, I think.
Absolutely, that is an add to the value, 100%. So Igor, thank you so much, bro, for this interview.
Pleasure.
Sharing your story
To see you.
about the house. I think it's an amazing house. You have a beautiful property. And for the people who are watching, if you resonate with this property, please contact us. Thank you so much.